Now, he, of course, heads a big list of players, Michael, that are leaving the Roosters at the end of the season. Manu's on top of that. Kiri, Swaliti, Tupanua off to the Kennel, Tupou. So there's a lot of money there.
Yeah, there is. There are some players, though, that are staying that are getting paydays as well. Like you look at someone like a Siwa Wong, who's not on a lot of money, Terrell May, who's not on a lot of money. They have to start paying those guys a bit more than what they were on. They obviously have now kept Angus Crichton. That wasn't in their plans. They were going to let Angus Crichton leave at the end of this season. They now offered him $800 for him to stay for another couple. And they brought in Mark Nwangani-Tuwaze. Like, pretty quickly that starts to add up. And the big one is going to be Sam Walker.
Yep.
And they know it's probably going to take 7 figures to get that done. And they need some money in the bank to make sure that does happen. I know there are some big-name players leaving. I just don't think they have this infinite war chest that's going to be able to bring another 2 or 3 marquee players to the club.
Do you get the feeling, though, they're keeping something up their sleeve just in case? The Roosters always manage to find
They'd have targets.
Always. Do you reckon they've got someone in mind? They want it, yeah. Do you have any idea who it might be?
Well, I don't know if they would have a list. I think there's been a lot of talk around Kalen Ponga over the last 6 months, whether or not something would shake out at Newcastle. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. We know Dylan Brown's got options in his Parramatta contract to leave in the next 18 months. I think he has to take up the option by round 10 next year to stay at Parramatta. So potentially there could be a play at Dylan Brown. So it's just, there's Pappenhausen at Melbourne has obviously been talked about what they're going to do there. Sua Falongo. They would be after a marquee signing, no doubt. They thought that was David Fafita. It wasn't the case. Don't be surprised, though, in the next 6 months that they go in big for someone like a Dylan Brown or whoever's on the market.
Well, they've signed Chad Townsend for 1 season, and Gal, I know you were critical of that deal, and also of him. I didn't realise there was a beef between you two.
Look, you have arguments with blokes over time, and that's just part and parcel of life. You don't always agree with people and certain things. And me and Chad had a bit of an argument a couple of years ago. We haven't spoken too much since, but look, what's happened. When I got this job, I always maintained I'm going to be honest in my opinion of the game. And I do think it's a weird signing for the Roosters. It's not a normal signing for the Roosters to sign a 34-year-old halfback with 1 year to go when you've got blokes like Sandon Smith and Walker there. I just thought it was a weird signing. When I was asked about it on radio, people were like, well, hang on a second, aren't you his mates? I'm like, well, we had a falling out a couple of years ago, but there's no beef there. We're big boys. We can have an argument and move on. And let's just leave it there.
They need some depth, though, in the halves. They could have, obviously, this year, when they lose players, they can chuck Manu in there. He's not going to be there. Obviously, Kiri retiring. And Sandon Smith, he probably will start ahead of Chad Townsend. It's just a bit of depth for the club because they have a couple of young kids that they believe in coming through. They've got they need a stopgap solution for 12 months, maybe 24 months, and Chad Townsend fills that hole for them.
I just answer questions the way I see fit. And me and Chad, I think Chad's had a wonderful career. I really do. He's won a premiership. He's provided for his family. He's had a great career, and I just thought it was a weird signing, but that's life. That's my opinion. Doesn't make it right or wrong.
If you had to send a Christmas card to one of them, who's most likely to get one from you, Sonny Bill or Chad Townsend?
Oh, Chad, every day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, every day of the week.
Unless Sonny Bill was sending you back one with 70% of whatever fee you come up with to fight.
Brace, you wouldn't have that argument. I'll have that argument.
I'm not going to have that argument.
I'll have that argument because that is an absolute lie.
We need you to break the microphone again.
That's an absolute lie.